second here.
It's on.
Yeah.
Greetings, dear, precious, beautiful, magnificent spirit soul that you really are. Not who you think you are. You know, my topic is, what you think of you is none of your business. You know, my book, What You Think of Me is None of My Business. Well, what I think of me is none of my business. What you're thinking of you is none of your business. And what you're thinking of your kids, what you're thinking of your mate, what you're thinking of your boss, what you're thinking of anybody, you're thinking. And so you have to look as where does the thinking come from? Because you're told what to think. You're not told how your mind really operates, because you got to have a big psychology degree, you got to be a psychiatrist. You get drugs and all these kind of things. It's really easy. See, the problem is the identity crisis. And we have this identity crisis, so we're in conflict always with ourselves, because we have who we think we are, who we've been taught we are, who what other people think we are. And so everybody, what happens is, because we have this big time Achilles heel, our fall down, is wanting other people to like us. And you know, it's really deep, because if they didn't like you, you throw you out, you know, into the wilderness with the hyenas or whoever eats, you know, because wolves don't really go eat people and stuff like that. That's Disney. Anyway, this identity crisis. And it's identity crisis with everything, because what we think is a program. It's called intelligence. It's intelligence technology, IT. It's AI, artificial intelligence, because you have divine intelligence. It doesn't require the thinking, but what you do is you have such a state of knowing, you see, because it's the knowing that's been hacked. It's who you really are. And that the hacking is, as I said, that infection of this mind virus that causes us to then perceive who we are and what we call life, which is we're life, and this is the show, or however, to perceive it darkly, to perceive it through these veils of ignorance, through these layers that have been loaded onto us with every single possible subject, and it makes you subject to what you're subjected to. And then that's who we then believe we are, think we are, act like we are, and then we want to be like everybody else so that they like us, so that they don't throw us away, so we're not alone, we have a job, we don't starve to death, and blah, 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 because you're told all the time. Because where are you told? In the mind, the thinking, you see. Isn't that beautiful here? Look at this. Wow. And since the other day, it's melted a lot. So I'm not walking out there. Last year's videos, you'll have to see. We walked all the way across. It was just so great. And then today even, it's like there's going to be more. And yes, because I want you to just breathe it in for a moment too, and me too. And get centered right where you are. And it takes a real commitment to yourself. It's because what other commitment? It isn't to myself excluding you, but when I know who I am and I'm being who I am serving you. People say you don't want to be a servant because then you're a slave. No, there's a difference. There's a difference between going to a job and doing service. Because to a job, you can't wait for the job to get over until you can go do what you really want. So nobody's really there. They're always in their mind. The mind is thinking, analyzing, figuring out, blah, blah. And that's when you have an accident. That's when you fall down. That's when, because you're believing what this program, and it's like a computer program that's running basically through everybody's mind, because that's how the infection operates. It thwarts our divine view. It thwarts our knowing. It throws us into an identity crisis So we're always trying to find, well, who am I? And, well, then you say, well, I'm my roots, or I'm my body color, or I'm my this, or I'm this. And then there's all these stories, all these narratives. You look at libraries. Now, computers full of narratives and stories and all of this make everything complicated, and it's absolutely simple. See? And when you know that, all things are possible to you. Remember when I had advised before, you get that book about Walter Russell. It's called The Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe. It's a little tiny book by this Glenn Clark. And I realized how much, because I read that probably in our Earth years, 50-some years ago or whatever. And I guess, no, I'm not that old. Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm an eternal being. So, because there is no time. It's just now. So I'm plugging into a memory. It could be mine. It could be somebody else programmed me to have it. It could be all this. So what you want to know is to be who you really are. And you're always with yourself, and you're not a concept. So, but we can also use words, because that's what we're using now, to when you're speaking or whenever you want to focus on something and with others, use the words that are the most empowering for you and for others, the most nourishing, the most supportive, the most enriching that you could possibly find, you see. But the problem with words is every word also has an opposite. So even when you think the word end is also going to think beginning. You see, they just go together. Ends and beginnings are two sides of the same coin, you see, and that's a creation. And it also then is the belief that opposites attract. You say, well, no, that's a scientific law. No, people can perceive things, and then you decide it's a law, and then you go about proving it's a law. So you can see heads and tails are two sides of the same coin. They're opposites, and they're stuck together, you see, to make one. So the whole thing then, it's not your business to think about who you are. It's not my business to think about who I am, you see. I don't have to operate through the thinking machine because I'm the knowing being, and so are you. And so we have really, you might want to call it divine mind if you need the word, but it's you have to get beyond the words to the state of, see, people say, well, if I wasn't thinking, I wouldn't know what to do, and if I wasn't thinking, I wouldn't know where, and I wouldn't be this, and I wouldn't have other. Wait a minute, who's telling you that? Your mind. Ba 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 ba. See? So what you think of you is not your business. And what they're thinking of you and they're thinking of you, everybody is, and they're judging all the time. So you want to get that. Oh, I don't want anybody, they're all the time judging you, blah, 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 blah. But because they're looking in their little computer thingy of the mind is telling them about this and that, whether they like you or they dislike you, period. They like you if they think you're going to guarantee their future happiness, but they don't like you if they think that you're going to create trouble for them. And then that can switch in a moment. And then we're jerked around emotionally by all that. So what I think of me is none of my business. And what you think of you is none of your business. And what they're all thinking about everybody and everything is they're thinking of things and stuff. And they're infected. And to get over that, you have to take the medicine. And the first medicine is to just be awake, be aware, notice, observe. Notice how the mind, notice what it does, notice what's going on, notice everything's out there in words and talking and books and internet and this and movies and talking and acting and blah, 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 blah. And then you think that's real. Then we're producing that. So the ideal, when people, there is no ideal life. Well, ideal is an idea, you see. And it is that concept of knowing that you are beyond ideas. But if you're going to use words and an idea, get the idea and the concept, you see, of the absolute truth that you are, that I am, that we are, and that when you acknowledge and recognize then who you are, and you are being who you are in every moment, and you get how they're all thinking, analyzing, figuring, judging, You see, you stay centered in yourself, and you go forth and do the job you choose to do. You be who you are. You manufacture, not even, you are living, you see, now, because you are healed, and we know when it's a little warmer, we're going to be barefooted, and barefooted even at home, in your yard, and wherever you can. That's your heel, and you got your soul. And when you're there, we're grounded, and we're in nature. It's the closest we can get to actually be able to tune in to who we are. All right? Well, you know I love you. You know it's great what's going on. I want you to just be who you are, know who you are, and express that in every area of your life, and start planting seeds in other people, watching out for these electronic things going on, seeing what you need to do, taking absolute ownership. And I don't use the word responsibility, because that means all you get to do is respond, 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 and it's a respond. You don't need to anything or redo. Just be you.
Good one.
I think I hear Bigfoot is approaching. Oh no, he's Littlefoot. There he is.
Yeah, it's a pretty big foot.
Oh, it'll be really huge. Oh, that'd be good.